going on, guys? Hopefully you guys are doing well, having a great day. I want to talk to you guys about something. You remember that I put up a post about that thing called QAnon or Q, and I'm actually wearing the shirt right now, the Where We Go One, We Go All shirt. Here's the thing. Now, I have about a handful of friends that we've been following this thing, and it's actually been a lot of fun, especially in quarantine, following the quote-unquote breadcrumbs to this thing, and trying to see what does come out, what doesn't, and some of the things, like, I'm not saying I do believe everything's real, I'm not saying I believe that everything's not real, I'm saying it actually has been a lot of fun, and it helps pass time doing this, and tons of people are actually into this, which I didn't really know. My wife Erin found it like a couple of years ago, and she's kind of followed it for fun. And then, once I found it, and she was like, yeah, I know what it is too. I was like, what the hell? What is this thing? And now I have like a few friends, and we talk about it every day. We're like, wow, did you see this post? And there's so many things out there and stuff. I can tell you guys from firsthand experience, and this is not from Q, this is not from media, this is not from social media. This is real life, and this is my life, and my wife's life, and everybody that lives around here's life. So the other day I was doing my walk outside that I do every day. My wife and I do 2 walks a day. Sometimes we do them together, sometimes she does it in the morning, and then I do mine later on. And I take Brady with me. So I took Brady for the walk, and I saw a friend of mine. His name is Rami. Now, it's not Big Rami, but his name is Rami. He trained at the gym over at Export where we do. And, we just stopped to shoot the shit a little bit because, of course, we're all bored and, need some human interaction. And he says, hey, man, did you see the FBI and the CIA over here in the last month? And I was like, what? I'm like, no, what are you talking about? So the road that we walk on is this park. It's like a little park, and it's a closed park, like a kid's park with like a jungle gym and playground and shit. And it's been closed. There hasn't been anybody around. There's a little parking lot right there. So Rami drives his car over there, he parks there, and then walks up and down that road. It's like a straight shot that goes around this thing. And that's, it could take you anywhere from 30 minutes to 2 hours if you do the whole thing. So it's like a walking trail, right? So he pulls up, and as he, turns his car off, he looks up, and there's a dude wearing a ski mask, a badge around his neck with an FBI bulletproof vest, with an automatic rifle in his face, and says, "Don't move." And he was like, "What the fuck?" So they grabbed the 2 guys, threw them in a van, and took off with them. So it almost looked like they had kidnapped him. So at this point, he was like, "What the hell's going on?" So he didn't really understand what was happening, but where that happened, it was actually in his brother's neighborhood. That's why he parks his car with it. He does the walk, and then he goes to visit his brother and his sister-in-law. So his sister-in-law actually was walking down the street and met up with us. So we're just standing there talking. And I said, well, what was going on? He said, I don't know. He goes, all these feds came flying in, the FBI, CIA. He goes, and all month long. He goes, early in the morning or late at night. He goes, they swarm in with cars and SUVs and stuff, or they come running across the highway or the road right there, like out of the bushes and shit. They were grabbing people and like cuffing them and shit. He goes, and I know that it was like the FBI and CIA because they were wearing jackets and stuff and hats and ski masks and shit. So I was like, what was going on? So his brother actually saw the SUV and a van parked out front near his house in that neighborhood. So he actually walked up and knocked on the window. It was a super limo tint on it, dark limo tint. And somebody rolled the window down and said, roll the window down, put the window down. That's how old I am, roll the window down. And said, hey, can I help you? And he said, yeah, is this safe for my family to be around? And I guess they told him, like, look, you can get in your car and go wherever, but just please stay out of the way. We're doing an operation here, and, it's safe, but just try to stay out of our way because there's some stuff going on here. And he was like, fuck, okay. So he kind of like backed off and went in the house or whatever. So they were like researching it, trying to find out something, and they couldn't find out anything about what was going on. There was nothing online. There was no, arrest records. There was nothing. So his wife put up a post in like the little local thing for their little neighborhood. It's like a Neighborhood Now thing where everybody has access to this thing. They could talk about, neighborhood watch and stuff like that. And they found out that it was a pedophile ring that was broken up. So all month long, they call it COVID crackdown. Now you can Google Fairfax, Virginia, COVID crackdown. All the information will pop up now. They've rounded them all up. It's done. Now, all of their pictures are up, their names, the COVID crackdown. Now, that's just part of that. That's what Q said was happening. He said during this COVID thing, they were going to wrap up all these people, right? Now, here's the thing that even took it even further, right? That almost confirms what Q actually says. So we have another friend who works for the Homeland Security. So we're walking the other night, and we see him and his girlfriend. And I tell him, I said, yo, did you hear about what happened over here? And he said, no, why, what's up? Now, he hasn't been going into the office, so he's not really sure of that specific operation. So I told him what's going on. He goes, well, I got to go to the office next week. He goes, I'll look into it when I get there. He said, but you've seen the stuff online. I said, yeah, I just Googled it and everything popped up. He goes, all right, then it's open to the public. He's like, we'll be able to talk about it pretty freely and stuff. He said, in the last 3 years, so he's a former airborne ranger, multiple deployments to Afghanistan. I mean, he's the real deal. Now he works for Homeland Security. He said, in the last 3 years, we have really ramped up by instruction, means came from the top, to go after these human trafficking rings all over the globe. And he said it's unbelievably bad, and that has been a big thing for us for the last 3 years. Now think about this. Donald Trump's in his 4th year. 3 years ago was when Donald Trump became president. That's when Homeland Security started going after these pedophiles. It all actually lines up with what Q says, and this is real life. These are the people in my life. They don't even know who Q is. They have no idea what the hell this stuff is, but they're witnessing it over and over again between the busts and the stings happening over here in the playground, and my buddy in Homeland Security are basically confirming the things that Q is saying right now. You know, they're grabbing all the low-level pedophiles so that they keep flipping over on each other, turning over, flipping them, so they can follow that right up the chain, and eventually they're going to wind up getting to those top people, which we know who they are, supposedly, and they're going to have all the information, how these things work, everything, and they're going to have enough people to testify. Everything is going to be there. It's going to be a solid slam dunk case. That's what Q says. And I'm like, holy shit, like, this is real. This is not a joke, guys. I'm not doing this for, you know, like, just to put up on social media. This is really happening right now, like, right where I live. And I just happened to know people that were kind of involved, and I never thought about actually asking them about it, because I didn't know, you know, you don't know whether this Q stuff is real, is it made up, is it fun? It's like a real life kind of like board game, like a mystery board game that like every day you wake up and you can't wait to see what other crazy stuff is being talked about. But then how crazy if this shit starts to become real, like you're seeing it, you're actually seeing it happen, right? Now, when my wife and I walked around the playground, like we walked down the street, you can see where the playground is. There's like this walkway that goes around it. So we walked away around one day. We noticed there was all these like big sticks laying like all really weird ways, like all over the pathway. Like there's no way you could walk on the path. Like there's no way we could walk without stepping on it and falling, like just the balance from stepping on these weird limbs and shit, right? And then it dawned on me, I was like, holy shit, now after these busts are done, they're gone. We didn't have any storms here. There's no kids in the playground. Who the fuck would put sticks like that? When they were pinning these pedophiles in, the only way for them to get out would be to turn around and run down that area. If they ran, all those sticks and limbs and shit were there for them to just step on, throw their balance off for 1 second so that the feds could actually come in and get them, even if they were trying to get away. Now that it's done, they cleaned it up. And I was like, wow, man. But here's the thing. We didn't think twice about it. Like, we just thought they were like limbs that fell down, but like it was just weird they were set up. We're like, I don't know, maybe nature's weird. They do that shit. It's really, really interesting, guys, right now. So I'm just kind of sitting back and I'm watching things unfold on, you know, as they're happening with Q and stuff, and the breadcrumbs and following the crumbs and stuff. And I talked to I got about 5 close friends that we're all into the stuff. Every day we talk about it. We send each other shit. We're following these breadcrumbs. And, you know, there's another one of my friend the other day where he lives. He's like, man, we've been having these mini earthquakes. He goes, they're blowing up those fucking tunnels. He's like, because nobody's talking about earthquakes on the news anywhere. They're not saying anything about any of this shit. He's when I'm standing there, he goes, you feel the whole ground do this. And he's like, what the fuck was that? Like, what the hell? And he goes, it's only been taking place like these weeks or whatever. He goes, but I have another friend that lives a few towns over. It was happening there like 2 weeks ago. He's like, how the hell is this earthquake kind of moving along? It's almost like they're systematically blowing these tunnels up. And as they're doing it, the people are feeling it that live there. Now, this is my friend who actually lives there that was trying to figure out what was going on. And then he looked into Q because he was like, what the hell? I said, look into that Q and see what you think. He was like, yeah. He goes, these sewers and stuff had like smoke coming out of them. Like, fuck. So now I'm sitting here going, all the bullshit, all the craziness, all the, you know, conspiracy theory, which conspiracy theory was created by the CIA to basically destroy people's credibility that were onto something that they didn't want to know. Something that was going to be secret that winds up getting out. CIA created the term conspiracy theory to debunk them and defame them, and basically just take all of their, you know, their basic, what's the word I'm looking for? The fact that people, you know, would believe them. They're going to defame them immediately and have people think that they're crazy because it's a conspiracy theory. When realistically, what conspiracy theories are by definition, due to the CIA's actual definition, conspiracy theory is anything that is leaking out information they don't want anyone to know. That disinformation is then leaked out to stop that information from coming out. That's what a conspiracy theory is. But what we think it is a lie. It's a made up, stupid thing that people that wear tinfoil hats and, you know, are crazy do. But realistically, it's actually something that a conspiracy theory is a way of using disinformation to get people off the track of what's really going on. That's what conspiracy theory actually means. Literally, we have this other vague version that they put out to the public that gets the public more brainwashed to believe that these conspiracy theories are something fake, when really what they're doing is trying to divert you, and they have been. You can look this stuff up. You know, it was created by the CIA to divert people away from what's really going on. Conspiracy theory, crazy people. So now I'm like, am I one of these conspiracy theorists? Like, am I one of these crazy people? No, because I don't give a shit about like any of the other shit. But this Q stuff seems to be popping up, and now it's literally in our backyard, and we're all talking about it, and we're all shaking our heads going like, could this all be real? Like, could this literally be happening? Could this be 100% fact, 100% real? Of course, you don't want to jump the gun and say yes, but I'm going to say possibly, likely, almost yes. Like, you want to say yes, but you want to hold back just in case this is all coincidence. But mathematically, it's too many coincidences in order to be a coincidence. To have this many things happen the way that they are lining up, complete impossibility mathematically that this could possibly be fake. So it is what you guys, it is what it is, guys. You guys think what you want to think. If you follow Q, it is what it is. If you think it's crazy, I understand that too, because I've read some of this stuff and I think it's completely crazy. But this is real life, and it's happening in our backyard, and it lines up with the Q posts. So take it for what it is, guys. Appreciate you guys watching, and chime in down below if you're into the Q stuff. I'm just really curious to what you guys actually think, what you guys are actually seeing out there. Because if I'm seeing this in my backyard and I'm sharing it, if you guys are seeing stuff in your backyard and you're sharing it, those can actually put the pieces of the puzzle together even better if we collectively collectively put together. And I'm so hungry right now, and Aaron's eating in there. I'm collectively putting them together so that we have information that actually makes these breadcrumbs create a whole loaf of bread. That's fucking awesome. I'm Biosphere, and I approve this message, and we're